Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the long-awaited Simply Nikah app review. I've tested this app out and I wanted to let you guys know what this app is really about and how disappointing and misleading all the promotions that was done by Mufti Menk about this app. If you want to know more, keep watching. To start talking about this app, we need to break it down in different parts. Okay, so we're going to talk about the functionality, which is about 80% of the issue this app has, as well as the usability, your user experience using the app, as well as this big promotion that Mufti Menk did. Nothing personal to him, by the way, but the promotion that he did and how misleading it was, talking about the Sharia compliance as well as the AI Wali, to show you exactly what the app is and if it actually has these things implemented in it. So to get started, I'm going to quickly show you how to create your profile and account after you've installed the app. It's a pretty simple process. You just enter basic information, enter your code, as well as information about yourself, and as well as your preferences. Once you're done, you need to take a selfie photo, which is actually pretty cool because a lot of other apps have the same thing. You'll need to verify it by turning left and right. First functional issue here we're going to talk about is the loading. Now, something I did not get on screen, but it's probably one of the biggest ones. And you'll know that every time you use the app, you're always getting booted out. This app barely works. There's error messages, it's always loading, and the data gets wiped out after updates, which is very frustrating because, even though there's not a lot of things that you need to, re-enter, it does take a little bit of time and it can be very frustrating. At times that, when you're in the middle of something, you just get kicked out. Now let's go into the limited matches, which is another big thing here. I'm just going to go into details about this, which is another issue of functionality. To find your matches, you have to click on the home icon. And a lot of times you may not find any matches, but you have to play around with the search. So you have to change the age, change the location, which is not something you want to do, but just because of out of frustration, you want to make sure you get some matches, at least to see what they have in their database. So you're constantly having to play around a lot to find a match. And with the new update, it just has become worse. When you look at a profile, you'll see the percent match. This is supposed to be your compatibility percent. Now, compatibility is used very vaguely because this is not really telling you how you get along with the person or how you match with the person on a personal level. Personality-wise, is just telling you how many questions you've answered correctly or that is matched, I would say, within that range. So currently, when I created this account, this is a female profile, both of the same female, and it's a male looking at the female profile. So it's a 0% match because the male was not looking for someone at this age range. So that's why there's an X here. They both have different ethnicities and they're not looking for the same ethnicity. And they're both never married, which is an issue because this should have been a check mark rather than an X. So they should have had the same check mark. So that questions, how this is being calculated and how accurate it is. The other thing I wanted to point out is that I had answered all of my questions, but it's only showing you 3 of them, which is quite strange because I should have more questions here. I think it's about 7 or 9 they have. So I should have had 7 or 9 displays here. The other thing is I made a change later on, and to see how it would look like, I made the male have a broader age range. That's why the check mark is now green. I made the ethnicity to be open to any ethnicity, and never married, again, it's now checked. So because we have those 3 things answered and it's, along the same preferences, it is now 100%. You're probably wondering if there's anything interesting or new about this app. The only thing I've noticed in this app is the icon here at the bottom in the chat box. While you're chatting, if you click on this, it'll let you know what your pending threshold is. And as you can see, there's a spelling error here, but I had to point that out. This 90% engagement shows that we've been communicating for some time. And because we've been communicating often, the percent increases. So as the percent increase, you have a greater chance of getting to, request contact information and probably making even a phone call. Now, the thing is, this was pre the new update that they had done where they, you had to match with someone before you can even start talking with them, chatting with them, calling them and things like that. So now this kind of is redundant. I mean, it's still there, it still shows. But because you can actually chat with someone without matching with them, and you can call them without being matched, then it kind of doesn't make sense to have. But at the same time, it does let you know, how long you've actually been, communicating with, and when is a really good time to actually start talking and exchanging, personal information. It kind of comes in handy to have, because some people don't know when to actually ask for personal information, while others tend to, ask right off the bat, can I have your number, or can I have your, email, whatever it is, to get off the app to talk. But in a way, it does become pretty helpful and useful for those who are not really sure and want to stay on the app communicating. Other than this, I really don't see anything else that is unique about this app. It's just really simple and basic, and it's just like the other, dating apps there is out there. The notifications, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't work. So I'm going to talk about a few things about that. But one thing I want to point out is, looking at the notification, there is one good thing here. You do get a message that shows up here on the icon. There's a little dot here on your home screen that tells you that you have a new message. With notifications, I notice that sometimes the message they have is not really accurate with what the app and how the app is functioning. So on May 5th, they sent a message saying, as a free user, you're going to get all these new perks. Prior to this, they had an update on May 2nd, which now allowed people to pay for a premium plan, but I'll discuss that later. So let's look at the message, what it says here. It says the free plan now includes 3 instant messages per month. So you could not have messaged anyone before. You had to be mutually matched to actually message someone. So now you don't need to do that. Now you can just message anyone, and you have 3 instant messages per month. You have 20 reactions, which is not reflected here on the app because there's nothing here that shows you how to show a reaction. So I don't know why they would even put that. And there's 3 likes per day. And this is where you would do your likes. So now what I did was, I found this user and I sent a message. I got the message box open. I sent the message to them, and then I got a confirmation. Now I'm going to show you when I actually messaged the person. I noticed something that, which made me think that these people aren't all new. So this one here shows that it's a new user, but technically she's not that new. When I go to the message, it shows you the last seen, which was like 11 days ago. The other person I had messaged shows that they were here 6 months ago. So after messaging the second person, this is the second member here, and you'll see this says new. Okay. And you'll notice that the color around the circle is now changed. Now this should have had 2 colors here. This should be like 2 colors used, because this is the second person that I messaged. But when you go to the third person, you'll notice now it's showing you 2, and you have just 1 left. So it's not very accurate in how they, make the changes. As soon as I click on the X, I got this message. It says premium users get married 3 times faster. And now it's asking you to pay $27.99 per month. I'll go into these details a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you anything I did, it just kept on popping up. This message kept popping up, and I couldn't get another person. To get another person, what I would need to do is basically refresh the screen by clicking on the preferences, changing the settings, and doing another search again to see if I had another match. I could not like them either. I got the message as well. But even though I was allowed to get 3 likes, I couldn't even use the like. So it's not very accurate in what they're saying that, you should be doing, which also shows that the app is not functioning as it should be functioning. So another issue is with the likes. So even though I got my notification, when I want to view who liked me, I have to go to my liked you icon, which is a little heart icon. Getting to that page at the time, I had 1 like. So I took a screenshot at that time. And you can see that there's no photos here of the person or information because it wasn't displayed. And there's a lovely message here at the bottom that says there's nothing here. This is not something new. I've been having to struggle with this since I had the app, trying to get things to work properly. So it's a bit frustrating. And because I couldn't refresh by pulling down, because they don't have that function in the app, I had to click on any of the icons. So you can click on the home, you can click on the chats, the profile, the preferences, anything you like. I clicked on the home one, and again, you can see nothing is there. It's actually blank this time. There's no messages or anything like that. So what I had to end up doing was, basically going back and forth until I can see what's happening. But I had to actually log out and log back in. That's when I actually saw the person that had liked me. Here's a chat screen. It's the preview of all the chats you've had with people. And to get here, you just need to click on the chats icon. So the first message here, this actually occurred when I had a mutual match with someone. So this is previously to the update that they had, and this account was my test account, my second test account. I actually deleted it. So sending a request to delete it took a few days or so, but they did end up deleting it, as they say. And you can see that the picture has been removed, but there's a message here that says deleted account, and the last message I sent to the person, which is like a preview message, it's still showing here. So the message is still accessible, so I can click on this message and I can still see my past messages I had with this person, but their photo's not displayed. These two here are chats that I had recently, and this is currently right now what's happening. If you chat with someone, you can chat with 3 people per month. So whoever you chat with, you'll notice their name in the preview. So you'll see the first and last name, or you'll just see this letters and numbers. Now, this has been going on for some time now. It's not the first time this has happened. This has been going on prior to updates. Also, I have to point out that the first and last name is, for me, I would think is a privacy issue. If members are actually creating this account and they're putting their actual names in here, you don't want to see their last name. So this is now looking at when you open the actual chat message from the preview screen. So this is the one for the account that was deleted. You can see the messages are still here. It does have the deleted account stamp on the top here and the last seen date, as well as the exclamation mark. Of course, if you click on it, nothing should happen, but I did click on it anyways. And what happened was it went to another screen that showed that there was something went wrong. Instead of, not having it activated, they should have done that instead, rather show up another screen. In fact, it shouldn't even be here, because once you delete an account, it shouldn't even be in your inbox. But anyways, let's go on to what happened after that. A few minutes later, I got a incoming call with the deleted account showing at the top. I'll show you that video in a sec, but I couldn't get out of it because I couldn't click on cancel or answer. Anything I was doing wasn't working. For the other 2 people I messaged recently, inside the chat box doesn't show anything different. It just shows the same thing. Now that we've talked about all the functional issues, let's talk about the usability issue. So, it's one thing to have a lot of issues functioning, not functioning properly. The other issue is now trying to get to things and navigate through it. So navigating through the app was a pain in the neck. I have to say, I had to, I felt like throwing the phone against the wall. It was probably one of the most frustrating app that I had to work with and test. And for a simple app, you didn't think that there would be so many problems. But take a look at all the screens I've gotten to show you, and what issues that came up when I was trying to navigate through the app. Clicking on your profile allows you to upgrade, as well as log out and cancel your account, and pause it by clicking on the account button, editing your settings by changing your photos and other information, as well as your preferences. The first example shows the preferences. So to get here, you will click on the preference icon and you will see the age range, the location, and a few other things that you can change. I was focusing more on the location because sometimes I noticed that the location would just disappear or it'll reset to something else, like anywhere in the world or the country that I had before. So it kind of fluctuates. So here are the search results for everyone in Canada. And as you can see here, these people are not in Canada. There's 3 profiles that I was able to swipe across, and I noticed that they were in North Holland, these 2 here, and this one is in Dubai. Not just that, I also noticed that they have the new stamp, which I very highly doubt that they're actually new. They're just stamped new to make you feel that you got new people on board. Look at the flags. You'll notice that they don't match the country. So this is an American flag and this is North Holland. This is a Brazilian flag, again, North Holland. Under location preference, you'll notice that it says up to 40 kilometers away. But if you look at the results, when it shows up, it shows 17 miles away. So the age here says 17, which is the youngest age they have here. It's not legal to actually have 17-year-olds sign up on a website or an app. It should be, the minimum age should be 18. They also have that age on the website showing 18 being that minimum age, but they have here 17. Now, I haven't seen any 17-year-old profiles, but they really shouldn't even have the number 17 in here. So that is, again, another inconsistency of how they have put this app together. Here's an issue of the profile. When you're looking at a profile, you scroll down, you'll see hobbies. The hobbies are listed for the two people here, but this one doesn't have the hobbies. And these three profiles are actually the same three people that I saw in the match screen, and they were all tagged as new. So logically, that doesn't make sense, because if they're new and they have hobbies, some has hobbies and some don't, you're thinking, well, maybe these guys didn't put hobbies in. But the fact that there is no option to add hobbies, this may have been there prior to April. It could be early this year or sometime in 2024. Here's another example of using the app. So when I get onto the edit profile section, I accidentally clicked on where it says personal statement. I got a message here saying that you need to have at least 50 characters or 50 words in here. The issue with that I have is that when I was creating this originally on this screen right here, you can see that there is no minimum amount of characters that you need, but you do need to have a minimum for the biography, which is about 200 characters. So again, this is an inconsistent thing that they have here. They don't do things, in a flow. It doesn't, follow the pattern. It doesn't have things that, that correlates with one another. This promotion that was pushed was very misleading. So for one, AI Wali was already explained by Mufti Menk. He did a video and he talked about it. The word Wali is just placed in there by the organization as a tactic, to get people to feel more comfortable knowing that they can use this app and feel safe. At the same time, this AI, if you put aside the name Wali and put aside AI for a second, what is actually happening in this app is when you message someone, if you send an inappropriate message, or if you say a word that's inappropriate, what will happen is that word gets triggered in the system and it basically gets deleted and removed. There's a message that shows up that says the word has been removed, the message is not going to be sent, and which is great. I mean, the thing is, this is not something that's new. Like, a lot of apps do this, and that is to protect the person from getting harsh messages, which I think is great. It's just that it's not unique. They just made it unique, or to sound like it's unique, because they put the word AI and Wali in it. There is no one there monitoring your conversation. There is no one guiding you to tell you, how to speak or what to say, what not to say. No one's holding your hand, and there's no, prompts that tells you, okay, no, try saying this or try not saying this or whatnot. Those things are not there. This app is so basic, it doesn't really give you that, security of thinking that, it's an AI Wali, it's so great, but it's not. It's the opposite of what they're saying. It's just not the reality. It wasn't implemented the way how they want you to think it was implemented. The other thing is the Sharia compliance. Now, looking at what they have in their website to explain this Sharia compliance, it shows me that, a lot of scholars decide to come together and say that, this app is great, but did they actually look at this app? Did they actually try the app out? They were probably given information about the app saying the app does this, 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 or it will do this, this, this. And in reality, it has not been implemented. So whatever they want you to think it's doing, it's not doing it. And for it to be halal, they say, it's been approved by scholars. So, it's safe to use. This app, I'm going to tell you right now, this app is as safe as Salams and Muz. It's basically a smaller version to Salams and Muz. And the reason why I say this is because there's no difference in terms of the way how it functions. Like, the functionality is pretty much basically the same. You're allowed now to chat with anyone you want to, whether you are compatible with them, whether you have a match with them, whether they want to talk to you or not. You can talk to them, you can message them, and you can call them. And this is the problem with this app now, because before it, they fluctuate from, being very private, where you need to be mutually matched before you can speak with someone. Now you don't need to do that. So where is this Sharia compliance? How is this any different? How is this protecting you and protecting the females, which I believe as well the app is really focusing on? As you can see in all the demonstrations that I've done, that this app has so many fixes and issues to maintain. They basically updated the app to ask for money. This app is not different than other apps. It doesn't stand out. It's not unique. It's just a very simple version of all the other ones. Okay, so here is a bonus feature I wanted to introduce. One last thing, and this is to do with the professionalism of this app. As an organization who've hired the developers to create an app to help people, really did a bad job of actually making sure your app actually works. Before a developer sends something out to live for people to use, they usually test it. And this app doesn't seem like it was tested at all. There's a lot of spelling errors, okay? Errors that, you probably think that's, something minor, but it's not. These are things that are up in your face, like the word threshold. As you can see on the screen, it's not spelled correctly. Also, there is the fact that the terms that they wrote looks like it was copy and pasted from somewhere else. The terms itself, and I took the time to read about an hour or so to go through all their information, shows stuff that has nothing to do with the app. It talks about goods that you're going to be delivering to places and has, costs and things like that. It was very unrelated. Their focus was probably a good one in the beginning, but then, it just kind of changed and it looked more like it was going towards monetary gains. So I have not spoken about the people and the members of this app. I'm pretty sure there are some people that are serious and that are looking for people to get married and they want to, truly find someone. And unfortunately, this app is not helpful to them. And that's really a sad case because I'm sure so many people have joined it because of Mufti Mank, because the promotion that he did and the fact that it doesn't work so well. A lot of people have left, at least 400 people I know of. And you can see the stats here that shows you that out of the 400 people, about 90% of them have given negative reviews about this app. It's a big consensus that, the app does not function well. I'm just going to show you the pricing plan real quick. The price actually changed about 3 to 5 times, I would say, from May 1st to May 10th. Fluctuating between $27.99 to $19.99. And I have some dates here when I had started to do the recording, how many times it actually changed. But now is May 10th and it's back to $27.99. So I guess the company can't decide how much they want to charge people. So it's your discretion to understand and know like what you're paying and what you're getting into. You will be able to get unlimited swipes, unlimited chats, matches, rewinds, calling, and message before matching. And that's basically what it is. So on my previous message, these people, you're not even sure if they're actually there right now, if they're, currently using it or not, and if they're even getting your messages. So you just don't know. You're in a limbo. This app is so unprofessional that there's so many inaccurate information on their website to give you information about the app compared to, what is actually being, provided on the app. And 2 things that came to mind really quickly, which I didn't mention before, and that is providing your government ID as well as, having the ability to add a Wali on the app. This is not there. These 2 functions do not exist in this app. Maybe it was there before when they first came out, but right now it's not there and it hasn't been there, since I've been testing it. In conclusion, I have to say that this app has been a total disappointment. It's nothing like what has been promoted, doesn't reflect what the app actually does and how the app actually functions. There's a ton of errors and mistakes that shows a lot of unprofessionalism that was placed into this app. And it seems like something that is all about getting money from people who, are truly looking to find someone to be, on an app that is reliable and trusted and secure and safe. It's just not worth wasting your money behind. It's not what I was expecting at all, based on all the promotion that went on with Mufti Mang. There's a lot of functional issues. It's not user-friendly. You're always getting stuck in the limbo. You're getting disconnected in between chats and in between using the app, getting booted out. These kinds of things happen a lot. You don't get people that are actually, using the app who are currently there. People have been there like 9 months ago since the last time they used the app. Take a look at all the reviews that people have said about the app. And I have a few of them on the screen I can show you. You can even go check yourself. And like I said, there's just so many people that have bad experience on this app. It hasn't changed since then. So I would say the most disappointing thing for me, looking at this app and using the app, is the fact that Mufti Mank had actually promoted this app so heavily. And it's like something completely totally different. They haven't even taken the time to go through all the issues that they've had without fixing the issues. Instead, they're asking for money. And I think that's what is the biggest thing here that makes this app the cousin of Salams and Muz. Inshallah, this video was very helpful to you, and I hope that I was able to help you decide and get more information about this app so you can decide if you like to use it or not. Please leave your comments below at the bottom. I would love to hear from you. Any feedback you have and any experience that you have using the app, please do share. Take care, and I wish you all the best. Assalamu alaikum.